Namaskar, I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Welcome to Namaste Digital. Now, resilience is central to human character. Look around you. See how the pandemic has affected every aspect of our lives. Economy has been hit. Smaller businesses have been particularly vulnerable with supply chain blockages, drop in customer footfalls, and much more. But every day, we are learning not just to survive, but also thrive in the new normal. Remember, smaller businesses, MSME sector is crucial because they not only are a significant contributor to the GDP, they're also a source of large-scale employment. And empowering smaller businesses is a priority for the government as well. We've seen the importance and the support accorded to it in the larger vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is Namaste Digital, a program about helping smaller businesses, retail shops to survive, grow, and prosper using the right platform and digital tools. This special presentation is brought to you by DD News, DD India in association with Google. Now, digital is not new. We're all familiar with it. We're used to buying and selling groceries online, pay for fuel through our mobile apps. But in this presentation, we will try to bring the immense possibility offered by digital platforms to our businesses in a more simple, structured manner so that it is easier to adapt to the new circumstances, bringing the power and potential of digital world to our entrepreneurs, businesses, and shopkeepers.
Small businesses are the backbone of our economy and communities. From shopkeepers to small and medium-sized enterprises, small businesses provide employment to over 11 crore people. Coronavirus pandemic has affected the economies everywhere, including India. Small businesses in India are also facing challenges because of the pandemic. Now, more than ever, internet and digital tools can help small businesses maintain business continuity and minimize disruption. Our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has also asked the business community to invest in digital tools to keep them running and support the country collectively face this challenge. In this series, we will take you through helpful information about using digital tools and bringing your business online. From listing your business online and getting discovered by customers who may be searching for businesses like yours, to using digital payments for enabling contactless shopping experience, and setting up online stores for selling directly to customers anywhere. This is the beginning of your digital journey. Welcome to Namaste Digital. व्यापार की बात डिजिटल के साथ.
So we've understood the significance, the scope of the series Namaste Digital and the particular episode, but it will also be important to understand why we're talking about MSME sector, why we're talking about smaller businesses, what do they really bring to our economy, to our nation, to, if we talk about employment, how significant are they? Let us try and understand that now. India's MSME sector, MSME, you to understand, stands for micro, small, medium enterprises. There are some 6.3 crore micro, small, bigger, smaller institutions and enterprises that work in the country. Why are they important? Large-scale employment opportunities are provided by MSMEs, by smaller businesses at a much lower cost as compared to bigger, larger enterprises. Also, remember, talking about employment opportunities, some 11 crore jobs are created by MSMEs, small and big opportunities throughout the country. That's what makes it particularly crucial and its contribution to the economy. Moving further to understand the relationship between MSME and employment in different sectors. In manufacturing, we see it offers some 3.6 crore jobs. If we talk about trade, some 3.80 crore job opportunities are created. In other services, some 3.6 crore job opportunities are created. So all in all, if we put it all together, over 11 crore job opportunities in a country with an important demographic advantage. Therefore, MSME becomes important. Moving on, let us further try to understand other characteristics of small businesses and MSME sector. Are we talking about employment in particular? How are they spread if we talk in terms of rural and urban areas? In rural areas, 45% of the jobs created by MSME are situated. As far as urban areas is concerned, that has the significant majority of 55%. So 55% in urban areas and 45% in rural areas is where these jobs by MSME are created. How is this workforce divided? Number of male workers in MSMEs stands at 76%, and women, female workers stands at 24%. So there is a difference significantly in percentage of men and women occupied and employed in MSME sector. Moving on, we're trying to understand the significance of smaller businesses, MSME sector in the country. How is where their work distributed? If we talk about manufacturing work, 41% of the MSMEs are engaged in manufacturing work. They're providing a lot of inputs to larger industries as well. If you talk about services, which is also the strength of India to a greater extent, some 59% of the MSME activities pertains to providing different kinds of services to larger industries or directly to the customer. So this is how broadly MSME sector is divided. Now we're trying to understand the manner in which the government has offered support to MSME sector and shown commitment. Prime Minister's employment generation program, over 1,000 crore rupees, is dedicated to boosting this employment generation capability of MSME that we talked about. Moving on, understanding the support by the government to the MSME sector. We're looking at the second pointer now. Credit-linked capital subsidy scheme of over rupees 450 crore rupees. So subsidy scheme, capital subsidy is crucial. We know for smaller businesses, for medium businesses, for MSMEs, and that is guaranteed by the government. Meanwhile, the Credit Guarantee Trust Fund for micro and small enterprises stands at over 27,000 crore rupees. Again, these figures stand as a testimony to the kind of importance that MSME sector has for the government and for the nation. Focus is also on skill development. How can we talk about employment generation without skill development? Skill development initiatives, some 2.6 lakh people have been trained for MSMEs for different occupations in the recent times. If we look at the skill development initiative and skill development commitment of the government is concerned. We're talking about significance of MSME. We're trying to understand the relevance of smaller businesses. In terms of Digital India, how does MSME stand? What initiatives have been made possible for them? We know after the expansive definition of MSME introduced to include more enterprises under its category, MSME registration portal was launched on 1st of July so that amidst this pandemic, MSMEs could register themselves online with the click of a button. Nearly 4 lakh registrations have been done in just these months when the pandemic has been most active. MSME registration, the good thing about it is that it's fully online, it's paperless, it's based on self-declaration. There is no bureaucratic hassle. You declare your identity yourself. So only Aadhaar number, only Aadhaar identity is required for MSME to be able to register themselves on this portal, MSME portal. It's also referred in Hindi, we'll call it Udyam portal. It is integrated with e-commerce marketplace, GEM, and also Treads platform. This is to facilitate invoice financing. These are crucial aspects. The financing and the monetary parts are crucial aspects. So to make that convenient as well, those online facilities have also been given. And if we talk about the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat that I mentioned earlier, in the larger bouquet of Atmanirbhar Bharat, investment rupees 3 lakh crore, collateral-free automatic loans have been made available for smaller businesses and MSME in particular. So those were the ways in which we understand how significant MSME and smaller businesses are for the Indian economy and how committed the government also is to empower. So having understood the importance of smaller businesses and the MSME sector, we're heading for a short break. When we return, 3 eminent guests will be joining us to help us understand the manner in which the digital platform and tools can be game changer for smaller enterprises. A quick look at the day's top news. 100 big stories from across the country and the world in just 30 minutes. Watch Express News Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. only on DD India.
और इस गीत के बाद
All India Radio.
3 rating points, is 34 points behind Smith 900.
This is All India Radio. The news read by Anuja Kumar. Namaskar.
Welcome back. You're watching Namaste Digital. Let's take the program forward, and I'm very happy to welcome three eminent guests joining us for a discussion today. Let me introduce you to them. Abhishek Singh, CEO, MyGov platform. Welcome, sir, to the program. Roma Datta Chaubey, Director Travel, BFSI Classifieds, Gaming, Telco and Payments at Google India. Welcome, ma'am. Very happy to have you with us. Also, Biswapriya Bhattacharjee, Executive Vice President and Head Technology Practice at Kantar, South Asia. Warm welcome to you, sir. Thanks very much to all three of you for joining us. Mr. Singh, if I can begin with you. MyGov platform has been really instrumental as a digital platform, instrumental in making governance of the Modi government truly participative. Now, in these recent years, how's been the experience? And for you, for the institution, how do you see how far has India come as far as digital revolution is concerned?
See, when we look at digital revolution and when we look at digital India, in the last few years, we have moved quite a bit. If you look at the world's largest digital identity platform in the form of the Aadhaar, the UID platform, is the world's largest database of identity with more than 1.2 billion numbers given to every individual. And based on that, the JAM Trinity, the Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile, we are the world's largest mobile penetration in the country. And with that, the bank account, the Jan Dhan bank accounts were opened, and that led to revolutionizing the financial sector, especially with the coming up of UPI, coming up with the paperless governance, the DigiLocker. So all these platforms have helped offer digital services in a very easy manner. Like, for example, if you look at the impact that had in the recent pandemic, when people were under stress and they wanted incomes they wanted money in their bank accounts because of lost livelihoods or because of distress in the economy, money could be transferred immediately to the bank account through direct benefit transfer. And that was the result of the technological interventions which have been made, which allows linking of each unique bank account to each individual. So this is greatly facilitated. If you look at the entire spectrum of areas in which digital technologies have made an impact, whether it's the passport initiatives or whether it's the driving licenses or whether it's filing of income tax returns or registering a company under the MCA 21. So all these projects have led to running a business easy, have helped improve ease of living. And if you're talking about MSME sector, the recent reforms that have been done with the Udyam registration portal. So the objective is that whatever benefits, whatever concessions, whatever subsidies or whatever steps the government takes for the welfare of a sector should be implemented in a transparent manner, in an accountable manner. The Udyam registration portal facilitates that. Each MSME who is eligible for any benefit, whether it's a credit-linked scheme or whether it's an interest subvention scheme, he or she the entity should be able to access it in a unique manner without having a scenario in which a few companies get all the benefits. So that has really transformed the way we administer the MSME sector. And the proof is that you only mentioned that more than 4 lakh entities have registered in just less than 3 months. So that itself is testimony to the impact digital technologies can make in making businesses run easier, access credit easier, market it better. The integration with the GEM platform ensures that the MSMEs are able to get businesses also, and they're able to generate cash flows and be able to repay the loans that they get from the government. So the entire impact of digital India and digital economy in every sector, whether it's MSME or whether it's the life of citizens, has been very great. And now the next step is to ensure that how do we use the same technologies for improving e-learning, for improving telemedicine, for improving agriculture, and ensuring that every citizen in this country benefits with the efficiency and the accountability that comes in with the use of digital technologies.
Right. Also, Mrs. Singh, your honest assessment as someone playing a key role in Digital India initiative amidst this pandemic that we're all living in, to what extent have we're talking about smaller businesses, MSMEs, to what extent have we been able to adapt to digital ways and means? We're trying to understand how significant is a program like this, where we take the learning about tools and platforms to people. How do you see the significance of it in the context that we're in at the moment?
See, if you look at businesses and the speed at which they have adopted to the Udyam registration portal of the MSME, or if you look at the speed at which they have adopted to the GSTN network, which has facilitated the way they file their taxes, the way they get their refunds, or if you look at the way GEM portal is functioning, wherein the all government procurement has been made simpler, has been made transparent, has been made accountable, and in which a lot of procurement and procurement worth lakhs of crores happens by the government every year. So instead of things happening in an opaque or a non-transparent manner, today every MSME who is registered to the Udyam portal gets automatically listed on the GEM portal, and any entity, whether it's the defense entities or whether it's the railways, which are the large procuring agencies, whenever they make a procurement, they give a preference to the MSME in their procurement systems. So adoption of these technologies gives access to the government markets, and once they are able to get government contracts and when they're able to implement certain projects for the government, that helps them in also offering the same services, the same products to the other sectors of the economy, and that helps the MSME sector to grow. And especially with the recent change in the definition of MSME, which allowed a turnover of up to 1 crores for micro enterprises, up to 50 crores for small enterprises, and up to 100 crores for the medium enterprises, that has ensured that a larger number of enterprises, MSME businesses, get benefit from this. And this has been done rightly so, because in the wake of the pandemic, the MSME sector was quite stressed, and many of them did face closures and did face various challenges. But the government support to them is with the objective to help revive them, because they are the creators of economy. And if you look at all sectors of the creators of jobs, and if you look at all sectors, the per investment, if you take the per unit investment in any sector, the MSME is the most resilient as far as the creation of jobs is concerned. So we create more jobs with investment in the MSME sector. It makes greater sense for the government and for the investing community to repose faith in MSMEs and invest money there, help them grow and create jobs, which is very critical for the economic health of the nation.
Right. Roma Datta Chaube, ma'am, if I can come to you. You know, it's a norm for every small or big search operation. For instance, we turn to Google, we turn to internet. But in the context that we are talking about, smaller businesses, MSMEs, are shopkeepers surviving the onslaught of the pandemic. How crucial does this online world, does the digital space, digital platform become in times like this?
Thanks, Shumendu, for initiating this very important discussion. And coming back to your point that how digital makes a difference to especially our small businesses. I think never right now, like never before, we are realizing that it can make a massive difference. As Google India team, we've been working with the small businesses and businesses of all size and shape for a while. But we've seen in the last 7-8 months, this digital adoption in any shape and form for small businesses has accelerated tremendously. So while COVID has had this impact on economy, on our health and everything, one silver lining, I would say, is that our consumers, our users are moving rapidly, adopting rapidly. The consumer behavior is changing, and so are the businesses. And I would say this for very small businesses to large businesses. The pivot has been very fast. The adoption has been very fast, and we feel some of these trends will stick. And what we could have accomplished when it comes to moving businesses online, digitalizing in say 3-4 years, we will see that happening in 2-3 quarters. So that whole journey has become much faster. Coming back to small businesses, in fact, this initiative itself coming together to make it really simple for small businesses to come online, have an identity online. I can give you one quick example of how we are pivoting our tools, our resources when it comes to COVID. So if we talk about payment becomes a very important part of any business, right? And there are a lot of payment platforms available. I can talk about the Google GPay for business. we've already seen about 30 lakh plus small businesses on that platform. And we made many features like, there's something known as a near store feature, which basically means if it's a small store which is present in some catchment and you want awareness for your users in that catchment, how do you do that? How do you talk about what are some of the measures you're taking in terms of social distancing to make your shop safe during COVID, or what are your office or customer hours and things like that. So that communication becoming simpler. We also have, and this has been there for a while, so I will emphasize on the fact that while we are really doubling down, this effort has been going on for a while. So we have Google for Businesses, which is really a very simple and free way of businesses creating an online presence through listing on search or through map. So post COVID, once we saw the impact, especially on the smaller businesses,
Right.
what we've done is that we've created this hub, which is called Grow with Google. It is for small businesses. This hub is available online, and it really helps businesses come online, make their presence online, find their users online in the most simplest way. And also, Shubhendu, I really want to highlight the fact that we are realizing that we really need to do a lot of work when it comes to local languages. India has diverse, we have such a huge range of languages.
Absolutely.
So when I talk about So when I talk about these initiatives, Google for My Business is available in 10 languages. Maps is available in multiple languages. So there's a lot of work happening in terms of expanding that range.
Right. Mr. Bhattacharjee, to be able to better understand the significance of digital platforms in today's time for smaller businesses, shopkeepers, retail shop owners, we should be able to understand why they've become so important amidst the pandemic. You're part of a leading consulting research organization. What is your assessment of the impact that this pandemic has had? We know it has affected all our lives in different, diverse manner. But talking about smaller businesses, what is the kind of onslaught that this sector in particular has had to face? And therefore, in what context are we talking about digital platforms and tools? Mr. Bhattacharjee.
Thanks, Shubhendu. Great pleasure to be a part of this discussion. I think it's a very pertinent question that you've asked. Small businesses and the kind of businesses that you have spoken about have definitely faced the onslaught of the lockdown. We have seen businesses closing down. We have seen businesses struggle. As a matter of fact, some of our research work during this period has said that close to 80% of their businesses have actually are going through huge financial stress, or were going through huge financial stress during the period of lockdown. Now, and that's something that all of us have known, either anecdotally or otherwise. And I guess Mr. Singh and Roma also alluded to this. I think what is important to look at here is the silver lining, as Roma rightly mentioned. And I think while businesses were going through stress, businesses were facing challenges with cash flow, facing challenges with managing their financials, their fixed costs, right, etc. Businesses were able to actually identify this as an opportunity, and especially businesses which had a foresight to look at digital as one of the key enablers to move their business back on track, so to say, right? We have seen examples of businesses moving online, whether it's in terms of increasing their presence online, making themselves available, using various features that are available on various online portals, like what Roma spoke about, right, about adopting digital payments. So we've seen businesses look at this as an opportunity to transform themselves. And though I'm using a strong word or a larger business word of transform, which is used in larger businesses, we have seen that happen in micro businesses, the Kirana stores, in terms of a small electrical supplier, or even a plumber who's kind of moving on and looking at these kind of platforms. What this has done actually, and I think that's a very big positive that we should look at, is it has actually helped businesses realize, right, that they can run their business without having to have that large a physical asset, as they had earlier, or without having to have their customers coming onto the store at all points in time.
Right.
They were able to use the digital tools very effectively to communicate, whether it's a WhatsApp, whether it's a Google Meet, whether it's any of the social media. They have been able to use payments to receive payments from their customers. They have been able to use their listings on various portals to be able to make their presence felt and reach out to customers. And suddenly businesses have realized that the area that they were serving has expanded several times. It's no longer a geographical boundary that they were constrained by. They were actually be able to reach the whole city, the whole nation, at times the whole world. And that, I think, is a huge discovery that businesses have had during this pandemic. And those businesses who have gone through this have realized the importance and the impact that digital can make for themselves.
Right. We'll take this discussion forward. A special expert speak segment for you. Let us understand how going digital can be a game changer for smaller businesses and startups. Suchita Salwan, co-founder LBB, tells us more.
Hello, I am Suchita Salwan, co-founder of LBB, a platform that helps small businesses and local lifestyle brands get discovered by customers. Working with thousands of small businesses and connecting them with lakhs of customers, we have seen the power of digital in helping small businesses. Especially in current times, the internet and digital tools can help small businesses continue operating. Now, more than ever before, is the time to get your business online. There are more than 50 crore internet users already in India, and this number is growing every single day. Every year, more and more internet users are searching online for businesses near them. In recent times, with people staying at home, this trend has only grown further, with people searching online for everything, whether it's groceries, food, fitness, apparel, and even education. For example, there has been more than a 5 times increase in searches for queries like grocery delivery near me. There are more than 6 crore small businesses in India. Most of them are businesses like yours, operating in cities and villages, making sure that customers are able to get the products and services that they need in their daily lives. By being present and active online, you can be discovered by customers who may be looking for businesses just like yours. I'll give you an example. On LBB, Paharganj's very famous store called Vishal Footwear came online for the very first time through our platform. In record time, we were able to help him match his offline sales with online sales, and he found customers all across India. With a smartphone and an internet connection, you can create and update your business profile or page just like you create your personal profile online and stay in touch with your customers. Share the latest information about your business with them, interact with them no matter where your customers are through digital tools and means. So what is the digital opportunity and how big is it? Internet and digital tools are transforming the way customers interact with businesses across every single step. Let's say you have a small business selling groceries or a bakery selling cakes, or maybe a small boutique stitching custom designed clothes for your customers. Every part of your daily customer interaction can now be supported by digital tools and the internet. And if you want to expand your boundaries, you can start selling online to virtually any person around the world. Most of these tools are available online for free. Many of these tools you may already be using for personal purposes. The first thing any business needs is an online presence. This is like having your address online, similar to the physical address of your shop or business in the real world. Customers who are looking for businesses like yours need to know where to find you and how to get in touch with you. There are many tools and solutions that can help you create an online presence. You can use popular search engines like Google Search or Maps, local directory services like Just Dial or Sulekha. You can also create a page on social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc., and be on review sites and recommendation platforms like Zomato, TripAdvisor, and LBB. You can also create your own website or join many other popular platforms too. Creating these listings are simple. In most of the cases, you can go to the website of the respective service or just download their app on your smartphone and you can follow a few simple steps to get yourself listed online. Just like that, you'll have your online address. No matter what platform you use or what platform you choose to build your online presence, you need to remember a few common principles. Number one, customers like to know the most up-to-date, relevant information about your business. So keep adding photos, videos, and posts about what your business has to offer. If your business is going through any kind of change, make sure that the same is updated on your profile. It can be a change in your opening hours or offering a home delivery service. Also, make sure that your address and contact information is updated correctly so that customers who want to get in touch with you are actually able to get in touch with you. Always respond promptly and regularly with customers who connect with your profile. This will help you build credibility among customers online. There is a lot more that you can do to engage with customers online, and we will cover that in one of our next episodes. So remember, it's easy, you can do it, and every small step you take can help your business as well as your customers. These tips should help you take your first step in your digital journey. For now, I will take your leave. Keep learning, and namaste.
So important message from a fellow entrepreneur. The journey into the digital world is easy. You can do it, sharing her experiences. Let's continue our discussion with the eminent panel of guests who continue to be with us. Abhishek Singh, if I can come to you. Mr. Singh, we know the kind of commitment that the centre, that the Modi government has shown to strengthening the digital infrastructure of the country. Now, amidst this pandemic, Prime Minister also said that it's time that we're able to adapt to digital infrastructures more efficiently. We must invest, smaller businesses, MSMEs must invest in digital tools. Just to simplify it, what does that mean? What kind of investment, what kind of commitment are we looking at from the point of view of smaller businesses, from the point of view of shopkeepers, in order so that they can benefit from the existing ecosystem of Digital India?
Before I come to MSMEs and what investment they can make, I will draw your attention to two very important announcements that Honorable Prime Minister made on the 15th of August. One related to connecting all 600,000 villages in our country with an optical fiber network, the Bharat Optical Fiber Network, which would ensure that every rural village in our country will be connected with high-speed internet connectivity. And this is a step in the same direction. A few weeks back, the Honorable Prime Minister launched the optical fiber connectivity with Andaman Islands, which brought the connectivity to Andamans. And the second important announcement the Honorable Prime Minister made was with regard to the National Digital Health Mission, which was launched in 6 union territories, which creates a framework for all health service providers to go digital and offer telemedicine services and even integrate e-pharmacy services in the days to come. So these two initiatives can create a huge opportunity for small businesses, because small businesses, whether they are located in Tier 1 cities or Tier 2 cities or Tier 3 cities, have an opportunity to leverage digital technologies like never before and ride on the benefits of that. We heard about businesses in Delhi and metros and all, but smaller businesses can also, whether they are located in Farrukhabad or whether they are located in Nellore or whether they're located in Golconda, all of them can go digital once they have access to high-speed connectivity and when they have basic skill sets in how to leverage the digital technologies. Today, things have become very simple, and creating an online market space is offered as a service by many platforms, and going digital becomes very simple. Ministry of Textiles, in fact, I would like to mention, they're in the process of launching e-marketplace for the weavers and artisans of India, wherein all the weavers from across the country will be able to hop on to the digital e-marketplace that incidentally the Digital India Corporation, which I head, is helping them set up. And it will be very soon, by next month, it will launch. It will have integrated logistics with the Indian postal system, and they will be able to deliver handicrafts and handloom products from the authentic weavers anywhere in the country. So when the digital backbone is being created, when government services are going digital and we are creating basic building blocks on top of which people can build apps, people can build solutions and benefit from that. Like, for example, the agriculture. We look at agriculture, the agriculture ecosystem is being created. Each farmer is being given an identity, and we already have land records mapped on a digital platform, and the soil health card, the weather data, all this data is available. So any private entity or any business or any MSME or any entrepreneur today has the opportunity of offering farmer advisory services, which will build up on the data that is already available and leverage it in order to deliver a service to the citizens. The non-personal data sharing framework, which has been again launched by Government of India, that also creates an opportunity for new businesses, for MSMEs, for IT entrepreneurs, for tech entrepreneurs, for startups to leverage that and offer services using data that is already available with any entity. That creates a data business kind of framework wherein one can, even if one is a late starter, then suppose a company like Google is a lot of data. So there will be a possibility of using that data which Google has collected or mobile or telco has collected, and using that to build a service and to offer a business, to create a business model which will yield a lot of returns not only for the enterprise but for the nation as a whole.
And on that, if I can just bring in Roma ma'am, when Suchita says it's easy to adapt to the digital ecosystem, well, quite frankly, it's easy when you know how. But if a friendly neighborhood shop, a sweet shop, a garment shop wants to go digital from having no knowledge of what the platform is about, although the series that we're doing will be taking such entrepreneurs step by step, but if you could give us a broad idea how easy it in fact is, what are the broad steps that can take a person from a completely physical, non-digital space to a digital platform? Roma.
Sure, Shubhendu. And before I answer that question, I quickly wanted to highlight one more silver lining of this whole process that we are going through. You mentioned just about 24% presence of women in the workforce.
Yes.
And something that we are seeing across industry is that digitalization is also bringing in a lot of flexibility. There are a lot of things that you can do from home, whether it's small businesses or large businesses. And I'm very optimistic that that will help us bring up that percentage, get women back to work at all stages. Whether
so
it's
changing the behavioral aspect as well at our workplaces, that is also getting influenced by digitization, you're saying.
Yeah, so that was another positive, and I'm hoping the mix will improve. So that was one. But coming back to your point, I would try to see it in two legs. And I think the message that you had in between was quite self-explanatory. It is like when you want to come online, you'll create an email ID. So first and foremost, you need to have an online presence. And you can do that by simply using, and I mentioned this before, Google My Business. It's free. It helps you to have an online presence on search and map. And the whole idea is that your users or your target audience is able to discover you, is able to find you online. The other place where digitalization will make a big difference is getting your whole transaction payment process online, right? So again, there are many platforms available today in India. Every business is trying to be as cash free, as contact less as possible. So that would be the other thing that I spoke about Google for My Business. We are seeing a lot of traction there. And again, you know, it has many features, and I'm sure in our episodes we will cover that, which helps you reach out to your target audience in the simplest possible way. And this is like, I'll just give you one small example of how simple it is. So if you're going to open a GPay account for business, the verification is a video verification. So you don't, you can do it in a very simple, easy process. It's free. You can come online the way you're using GPay for yourself as an individual. Similarly, you can start doing it for your business as well. So that's the second thing. And then, of course, we have this whole learning initiative, which we call it Digital Unlock. And I'm sure a lot of it will get covered in these episodes as well, which is about, these courses are available online. There are about more than 150 certified courses. We've seen almost 10 lakh businesses already taking advantage of these courses. And it talks about very simple ways of having simple strategies online to find your customers. How should you plan your businesses and things like that.
So these facilities exist, and therefore it becomes crucial to take the information, the know-how to the end users. There, Mr. Bhattacharjee, the point that Roma mentioned about behavioral change. We're talking about advantages of going online, adapting and embracing the digital environment. In terms of those advantages, the behavioral change, the point that she mentioned was very, very interesting. Women's participation, again, in smaller businesses, MSME context, is significantly less than the male counterpart. But how do you think that gap is going to be bridged by digital means? What does it really bring to the table that encourages more and more women? They feel safer, they feel more encouraged. What does really happen when businesses go online?
Right. So Shubhendu, before I answer that question, just wanted to add a couple of things to what Roma also said. So in the survey and the work that we have been doing during the pandemic, we have actually been seeing a lot of people basically talking about what Roma indicated. We have seen a lot of businesses actually showing interest to learn about digital solutions. A lot of businesses having adopted them, not knowing what are the next steps essentially, so they are looking for directions. More importantly, they are looking for directions in their regional languages, in their mother tongue. So that's another thing that is important to keep in mind, that as we are going to smaller cities, to rural in many cases, English and possibly Hindi as well beyond the Hindi belt might not be enough, and therefore we would start looking at regional languages to communicate. And also there is therefore a very strong and a very critical role that tech companies would need to play because it is the expectation that businesses have that it's those tech companies, the likes of Google, who would actually be able to handhold and take them forward in this journey. And to that extent, this is a wonderful exercise that we are looking at. Now, having said that, to answer the question that you have, I think what digital does is that it, in a way, helps people become anonymized, right? Means you are behind a window. It's not to say that you are not visible. They do not know who you are, but it as an individual, you get a lot of confidence because it's a level playing field. It does not really bring in any biases as such, by gender, by region, anything. It therefore gives you that much more confidence to start doing your business, start executing your business wherever you are. The second, which is most important, is that it is not necessarily very capital intensive. As Roma was saying, a lot of homepreneurs, as we call them, people who run businesses from their home, were largely restricted to a very small area, maybe their neighborhood or their complexes as such, are now able to actually express themselves a lot better because of the advent of digital and the fact that they have been.
So in terms of physical infrastructure also, it makes it easier if you're able to go digital with your business. We'll move forward with a special digital hero segment. We bring you a story of Maya Flowers, how small businesses are turning crisis into opportunity with the power of digital. Take a look.
मैं अपनी फैमिली का पहला मेंबर हूँ जिसका खुद का अपना बिजनेस है. My name is Harsimran Singh and I am the owner of Maya Flowers Lucknow. We can deliver flowers, cakes, chocolates, greeting, teddy in India in 3 to 4 hours. सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा चल रहा था, बट जैसे ही कोरोना वायरस हमारे इंडिया में आया तभी रियलाइज़ हो गया था कि अब आने वाला टाइम बहुत अच्छा नहीं होने वाला. हमारे पास जो रॉ मटेरियल्स और फ्लावर्स अगर आते थे वो आना ही बंद हो गए, जिसकी वजह से और बिजनेस हॉल्टेड. हमने अपनी प्रोफाइल अपडेट करी जिससे कि लोगों को मालूम चला कि हमारा स्टोर अभी भी ओपन है. लॉकडाउन में लोग मुझे डिस्कवर करके वहीं से ही कॉल करने लगे. लॉकडाउन पीरियड में नियरली 70% कस्टमर्स माया फ्लावर्स को ऑनलाइन ढूंढ करके ही आए. हमारे पास गिफ्ट्स की डिमांड्स तो ऑनगोइंग थी, बट हमारे पास फ्लावर्स की अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं थी. तभी हमने अपने प्रोडक्ट्स को कस्टमाइज़ करना स्टार्ट करा. जितने भी प्रोडक्ट्स हमने नए बनाना स्टार्ट करे थे उनको हमने अपडेट करे, लिस्टेड करे. ड्यूरिंग लॉकडाउन एक चीज़ और रियलाइज़ हुई कि हम अगर फिज़िकली स्टोर अपना ओपन ना भी करते हैं, हम लोग ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर्स भी ले करके अच्छा बिजनेस कर सकते हैं. ड्यूरिंग लॉकडाउन एक बार हमारे पास बहुत ही स्पेशल क्लाइंट का फ़ोन आया जो कि कतर से था. वो अपने 2 मंथ की बेबी के लिए लखनऊ में केक्स डिलीवर करना चाहती थी। उन्होंने बाबी केक्स सेलेक्ट करके हमने उनकी मॉर्निंग में ही डिलीवरी करवा दी। अब फ्लावर्स तो अवेलेबल थे नहीं, बट वी स्टिल डिलीवर हैप्पीनेस। अब धीरे धीरे चीज़ें नॉर्मल हो रही हैं, बट जो हमने टाइम फेस करा वो काफ़ी टफ था। पर मुझे लगता है हम इस टफ सिचुएशन से और मजबूत होकर के निकलेंगे।
So different success stories that can inspire one and all to go and embrace digital. As we move towards the conclusion of our discussion, Abhishek Singh ji, if I can come to you, your final thoughts. If we talk about the road ahead for Digital India, we've seen revolutionary initiatives in the recent years. We talk about the road ahead, talking about more stronger, more efficient digital infrastructure for the country. What can we expect? What can smaller businesses expect from the government?
See, the road ahead of India is digital. That is for sure. India so far has only around 50 crore people on smartphones and connected to internet. But the real value that there is there for startup, for businesses and for MSMEs and for startups in the entire digital industry is that 50 crore people are yet to get on the internet. We have still got the digital services available in big cities. It has not yet gone to the villages. A day will come when this optical fiber connectivity will reach each village. Then farmers will be able to order their seeds, fertilizers, and sell their produce from the agriculture and from the rural areas to the cities. When we are able to do farm to market, do farm to plate, that will be the real value that will create, and it will further be multiplied manyfold by expansion of digital learning and digital health.
So that will be something very special to look forward to. Ruma ma'am, if I can come to you, because we have a little short of time, we're taking the final comments. We could touch on the issue of security. One must wonder how secure is the digital world today. Someone who's making a beginning, in brief, how would you like to assure a smaller business who is thinking about going online but is not sure how safe it is?
Yeah, so all the tech companies in India government together, we're taking a lot of steps to make this really secure. I would simply say that the way you would take care of your home when you walk out of your home, you would lock it. The way you would take care of your locker, keep your valuables in your locker. When you have an online presence, your password, how strong it is, how often you change it, will become absolutely critical. You cannot be downloading anything from a link sent to you which you're not familiar with. So there are a lot of precautions that one can take. You have to be as careful as you would be in a physical world, and I hope everything will go fine.
So those basic cautions would help us stay safe in the online world as well. Mr. Bhattacharjee, your final thoughts. When you go out, talk to people who want to adapt to the digital economy, digital infrastructure, what are the hurdles, what are the concerns, what are the simpler concerns that you come across, the hurdles that you think people must be able to overcome in order to make the most of the infrastructure that we have?
Well, I think it's the mindset. It's about realizing that digital is here to stay. And I think that's the biggest concern, and that's the biggest challenge that businesses are facing within themselves. There are concerns about security, there are concerns about privacy, but I think that we are well covered on those. It is how we change our mindsets to understand and adapt to digital. That's going to be important. Take small steps. If you take small steps, you'll realize and you'll overcome those concerns. And I think that's the way in which we'll be able to overcome any challenges that might be there in terms of people wanting or not wanting to adopt digital. Digital is here to stay. It's only growing, and the businesses will move into this. The faster we move as a business into digital, the better it is for all of us. And that's how I think every businessman should look at it, small or large.
Right. And on that note, let me thank all three of you for sparing your time, sharing your perspective with us, and help us take this message of the strength, the power of digital to small shopkeepers, smaller businesses. Thanks very much to all three of you for joining us in this program. And with this, we conclude this presentation. But remember, this is just the beginning. In the forthcoming episodes, we will delve deeper into how you can adapt your business to digital platforms. I'll say on that note, Namaskar, or should I say, Namaste Digital.